right, and welcome to Wednesday's Quick Hit here on DB2. Today, Butler, we are talking Philadelphia Eagles running backs.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. That was a great idea. I'm intrigued. Tell me more. Are we talking about
Okay.
Boston Scott?
Okay. Now I just feel like you're being condescending for no real reason. Now everybody just turned off because they're like, even the host isn't intrigued. But listen, I know you are because you talked about it at the end of our full episode. Gainwell is, I would say, taking value away from Sanders, but he might have overtaken Sanders in value. He was the number 6 running back in week 4, has consistently been okay. I mean, week 1 he was 24 and but here's the thing. He was 47 and 42 week 2 and 3. So not great. But that's only a couple spots behind where Sanders was. And Gainwell is doing much more with his touches, especially last week. I mean, he only got 3 as opposed to 7, but he doubled up Sanders in actual production as far as rushing goes. And had twice as many catches. Is this a situation? Did Sanders get passed?
So, I mean, Sanders is still the guy when I look, the guy who's on the field the most. It's still
Yes.
close to a 2-to-1 split. It's been like that actually all year. It really hasn't changed. This one was, Gainwell was on the field a little bit more. This is the most snaps he's gotten with 29 to 47 for Sanders. So he is on the field the most. But when you see Myles Sanders go 7 for 13, no, not great. That's less than 2 yards a carry, actually.
Not ideal.
3 for 34 in the receiving game. That's fine. I mean, if you're getting some good, over 6 points.
Yeah, you
happy
tack
with
that onto a good rushing day, you're
Yeah,
excited.
and obviously some touchdowns, sometimes will happen as well. So Gainwell did get it in the end zone this week, so it is a little, that's always like who gets the touchdown is sometimes misleading, especially because he only had 3 carries. But 3 for 31, that's pretty solid. And the difference between the running backs right now is 10 spots for the year. Gainwell is 11.7 points per game compared to Myles Sanders' 10.1. So it's 1.6 points a game. So it's not crazy amount. But when you look at just overall upside, I can't help but be excited. To me, I've seen what Myles Sanders does.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem exciting to me. I'm not excited. When I put him in my lineup, I don't have any excitement. I'm like,
We
okay.
saw the beginning of this episode. We know you're not excited.
Yeah, I'm not excited. If I had Boston Scott in there with his 4 snaps in week 3, maybe excited. But I'm not. Maybe more excited. I wouldn't be excited. I would be less excited about Boston Scott. I'll go on the record on that. But Myles Sanders, it just seems like, just hasn't had a breakout game where you drafted him. You drafted him at running back 20. Kind of expect him to be your running back 2. Like a solid running back 2. And you're hoping maybe he can vault up to, top 15 guy. Has him in that. Week 1, I guess, technically. But yeah, the last 3 weeks, not great. Gainwell, obviously, this week with those catches. He also has, the big difference here is Gainwell has, if I'm seeing this, 18 targets, 13 catches on those 18 targets compared to, actually, Myles Sanders. I was looking at the wrong guy. Myles Sanders has 11 catches. They're actually almost, they're very similar in the past game. But he's on the field twice as much. So you would expect Myles Sanders, who's I always thought was going to get a lot of receiving. I thought that's what he was going to do. And he hasn't. I mean, he's been okay with that. I mean, it's not awful, but it's not what you expected. I wish I could put both of these running backs together and just have one massive running back, but they call that guy Christian McCaffrey, so that's already taken. But yeah, I wish. But this is somebody who I am excited about. It is still a 2-to-1 split though, so until that changes, it's going to be tough to really feel good about starting him because really his value, he is currently running back 29. But obviously, that's from this past week really vaulted him up the charts quite a bit. I think as long as it's 2-to-1, it's tough. I don't think, if you're ranking, again, I always like to look at the other 2-headed monsters. You have Hunt and Chubb. Those are the prototype, right? That's like insane what they're
gold
doing
standard.
Yeah, they are the gold standard. And then you have Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. That's a good one. They're both great. DeAndre Swift being the clear one in that case, unlike the Hunt Chubb, who's like that one's close. Both it could go whoever's the hot hand. Swift and then Williams, and then you have something like this. Obviously, this is a step down, but is Gainwell right there, close to the Jamal Williams territory? I kind of think he is. This is another running back who I think is like that right there. I'd still rather go Jamal Williams in that case, but I think it's close. McKissick, that was the other one. Antonio Gibson and McKissick.
McKissick.
So there's these two guys. McKissick, I think, is in that same category. You have these second running backs who are quite involved in the passing game, just not on the field as much. If you had to rank them all, I still put Gainwell the third guy there. Jamal Williams, McKissick, and then Gainwell. But I will say this: I think Gainwell has the potential to be he has a better chance of being
the best upside.
Of all of them, because I think based on how he's playing, obviously after this game, getting those catches, obviously getting the end zone, doing work with his 3 carries. I don't know. I think there's something there. I wish he just could break out of that 2-1. It's always every week. It's always the same split. I just wish he could break out of that. Right now, it seems like that's kind of what they're riding, but. Maybe he'll break free and get one game, and then maybe that's all it takes, and then he'll start getting the lead.
Well, my thing with Gainwell is like, it's not even so much about him. I don't think you can start him right now. I still think that's that'd be a real tough spot. But Sanders is now, because of this and because of the way Sanders has been playing, like Sanders went from a guy that you were just penciling in and not thinking about to like, I think a lot of the times you're probably sitting him. Because I think this is where he is now.
Yeah, I actually think they're both kind of close. I don't think the difference between them is much. I still think Myles Sanders is the guy you would start because he's on the field way more, but it's
I don't think you want to, though. Like, that's the thing.
Sanders is currently running back 39. I would say, even though his last 3 weeks he's been worse than this, I think he's almost running back 30, and Gainwell is probably 35, maybe? I mean, it's kind of close. It's kind of close.
Yeah, but it's just it's crazy because 4 weeks in, like we've seen 4 weeks of football, and for a guy to go from, I mean, Sanders was about as close to a pencil in your fantasy lineup to a guy where, unless you just don't have any other options, you're probably benching him until we see something. And honestly, if we see something, I think it's going to be Gainwell taking over. I think he's got that potential, and like you said, I think we've seen what Sanders is. And you know what? Sanders could come out week 5 and just tear it up and make us all look like fools. But I think this might be a changing of the tide there in Philadelphia.
And we'll see. I mean, it's all wait and see right now. The playing time hasn't showed that, but the actual production, what we've seen this past week, definitely leads us to believe that we might see some more Gainwell. And hopefully we do, because I feel like that's way more exciting. But if Myles Sanders goes, I don't own any Myles Sanders stock, so I don't really, I have my interest.
Unfortunately, I'm saying all this, and I have Myles Sanders in Dynasty. So
we'll see. But Gainwell is definitely an interesting name to look out for and pick up if he's available for sure. Could be a guy that you might be penciling in. He might be the guy you're penciling in a few weeks. So we'll wait and see. But thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button. That baby's free. You know what else is free? The subscribe button. That's free. You know what? If you go down and leave a comment, write up a little bit. Okay, it's a couple seconds. Time is money. Okay, but a few seconds. That's. I'll say it's free, and tell a friend. You're saying a bunch of stuff. That's also free. You're just talking. It just takes a few words. Say, hey, check this out. There you go.
And then if we're completely wrong on Sanders, you and your friend can make fun of us together. See, you got to think of the upside.
Now you have a bonding experience, and you'll talk about how an idiot you watched said that Myles Sanders, and he ends up being like a top 10 running back. So much. The upside to this right here, doing all those things is just through the roof. So you got to do it. You got to ride the upside. Thank you so much for watching. Come back Tuesdays through Saturdays. We got so many videos, and that's it.
Awesome. Appreciate it. See ya.
See ya.